The last presenter in the session and also in the programmatic category is Henry Webster, Director, Starcom USA.
My name is Henry Webster. I'm a director in the Audience and Measurement Solutions team at Starcom in Chicago. And I'm going to talk to you today about programmatic receptivity, which is a product that myself and a couple of other people at Starcom have been working to develop. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much for the selection. I'm having a great time being here. And with all of the work that I've seen today, I feel like I'm in great company, and it's been very impressive. So with programmatic receptivity, I think the first thing is it's going to be uncontroversial to say that programmatic has changed the way that we buy digital. And furthermore, with all of the data that we have access to, it's changing the minds of clients and agencies about how we use data and how we activate it. There's a lot to like about programmatic, but for my money, the access to data through DSPs has got to be one of the best features. Now, if your experience is like mine, my programmatic buys look a lot like that. A lot of overlapping audiences, a lot of different data sets, but by and large, to me, it just boils down to a checklist. It's nothing more sophisticated than that. There are criteria that are listed out that help us evaluate a piece of inventory and whether we should bid on it or not. But the fact of the matter is, people aren't checklists, and it's difficult to talk to somebody when you think they're a checklist. Our job as marketers is to bridge that gap and start a dialogue between a brand and a consumer, and hopefully spark genuine interest. When you take a checklist approach, you're going to have a hard time doing that because you're buying somebody who's a male 18 to 34. You're not paying attention to anything but that, and you're ignoring the context in which the ad is being served and all the different things that might impact somebody's receptivity or response. When you do that, you leave a ton on the table. Not only does it undermine the value of an agency and what you can bring to a buy, but you leave value on the table for the client as well. So, to address that problem, we built programmatic receptivity, which in the most succinct form possible is a metadata tool which allows us to deliver more impactful impressions by understanding the context and how different factors come together to impact consumer receptivity, which is basically to say to drive a positive response with advertising. And the goal here is to increase the value of our impressions. Even a small change in effectiveness at a huge scale is going to have a very large impact. As far as application goes, it's activated as a first-party data set. You can tap into it just like any other targeting layer on its own or in conjunction with other targeting techniques. And lastly, in the instances where we've rolled it out, the clients have loved it. We've seen great success, both attitudinal and in terms of ROAS. So, it sounds good. I'll show you how it works. First off, it's all about data creation. And the really special part here is we're using the data that's already available to us. Anytime we have campaign data, we have measurement data, and we have targeting data, we can begin to build this data set. Basically, we look for positive response, whatever the KPI is. Attitudinal lift, sales, action. We take that, and then we look at not just how the person was targeted originally, but all of the other things that might, affect how people respond. So, not only were they that male 18 to 34, was it mobile or desktop? Was it morning, noon, or night? What day of week was it? Was it, any other factor, right? And we begin to look at that, and at an individual level, that's not powerful. However, when you begin to take that in aggregate, you begin to see patterns about what drives people's receptivity and positive response. Additionally, everything we do is category specific. Purchase cycles are different, consumer journeys are different. So currently, we have data for CPG household products, CPG food products, consumer electronics, alcoholic beverage, and we're building out auto right now. And all of this gets wrapped up into a data layer which we can port to a DSP, which is great because we're integrating with current buying platforms. What's really nice about this is it appears just like any other data layer you would use for targeting, and that makes for huge ease of use and implementation. Any planner who's familiar with a self-serve DSP would be able to do this. Additionally, scale is huge for us. We have tremendous reach across different devices and formats, as well as in the United States and globally with our partners at Run. And lastly, there's evolution. Every time that we use the data and have measurement in place, we complete a feedback loop where we can get smarter and more accurate with time. Additionally, the more clients work with us, the more we can hone the data set specifically to them, have it informed only by their data and campaigns. And lastly, as we collect more and more data, as we onboard new clients, it's easier for us to be nimble and react and make those data sets for them. So in terms of impact, and everybody loves charts that go like that, by the way. That's something. In this test, we're looking at demographic data used for targeting and programmatic, as well as demographic data plus receptivity data. With demographic data alone, performance was fine. A 7-point lift is good in awareness. However, with receptivity data added to the demographic data, we saw almost an 18-point lift, a 2.5 time impact, 2.5 times the lift of just the demographic data alone. This is attitudinal. It's just reported data. I hear from my clients all the time. They want something that is observed and behavioral. We've got that too. We have sales data from NCS studies that we've done before, looking at offline sales from ad exposure. And basically what we've seen is that programmatic receptivity data has 129% higher ROAS than other tactics on the plan. Additionally, we've seen higher sales lift than most other programmatic targeting tactics, including behavioral, contextual, and demographic. The only thing that looks more effective is purchase-based targeting. However, the usually higher CPM associated with purchase-based targeting negates that effectiveness when it comes to efficiency. And we've seen the range of like a $7.34 ROI, which is really powerful, and I think any client would enjoy that. So, we've had good numbers all the way around when we've rolled this out. And I think just to recap, basically, with programmatic receptivity, it's a novel solution because we're making new data out of old data that we already have. And we're making that data work harder for us to deliver more impactful impressions, which is good for us as an agency and even better for our clients. And for my 2 cents, it's more about optimizing data than it is media. So that's programmatic receptivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Questions?
Yes.
Is receptivity just better targeting and more effective targeting?
Yeah. It's better consumer understanding that translates into targeting. I tend to think of it as, instead of just picking, say, like a small demo, right? Don't close yourself off to people that may be outside that. This is a way to evaluate the criteria that make for optimal conditions for success and target specifically those people.
Which is targeting.
Pardon?
Done well.
Pardon?
Which is targeting done well.
It's targeting done well and through the creation of a data layer that didn't exist before.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.